I would like to take a moment before we get into today's main episode and to talk about my sponsor for the podcast. Podmatch is a new podcasting site dedicated to all podcasters. The platform helps hosts get connected with potential guests to appear on their show, as well as allow guests to find podcasts that will give them a chance to share their story. Podmatch offers many tools to help organize your page, from to-do lists to episode planning to potentially appearing on a leaderboard. Podmatch has it all. The best part, you have the potential to get paid. And who doesn't like to get paid from home? I like to. With an easy sign up, you can start connecting with podcasters and guests immediately. I have been a part of Podmatch since the beginning of May, and I have got to say that it was the best decision I've ever made because Podmatch helps your podcast grow. It helps you get connected with people that have very interesting, very compelling background stories that are just waiting for their story to be shared. So if you are a host or guest and would like to start building professional relationships, explore more opportunities, and have your story shared, I highly suggest that you sign up with Podmatch today by going to joinpodmatch.com/lethal venom to start expanding your network in seconds. I would like to give another huge thank you to Podmatch for sponsoring this episode. Now on to our main episode, and again, you can sign up at joinpodmatch.com/lethal venom to begin your podcasting journey today. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Lethal Venom Podcast. This is the show where I talk about anything I want with the honest to God truth and the lies told. And today I'm joined by Robert Cardillo II, or he's better known as B-Cide. He is a rapper, producer, clothing designer, and author of Mile in My Shoes, a memoir about life, music, and resilience after being diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. With over 2 decades in the underground scene, he shares raw, real stories about perseverance, creativity, and pushing forward when life hits hard. So, Robert, thank you so much for joining us today.
You're welcome, Noah. Thanks for having me.
So, if you could just tell me a little bit about yourself and a little bit about what you do.
Sure. Well, my name's Robert Cardillo, and I go by B-Side. I've been B-Side for about 25 years. I started getting into rap music and doing it in about 1998 with friends from high school and stuff. And then I got into the independent scene. I don't know if you've ever heard of the Insane Clown Posse before, or Juggalos or anything like that before, but that's the scene of rap that I'm in. And it's definitely a different scene than if you were in some mainstream scene doing pop music. I guess it would be definitely different than that, because we speak about everything from like love to murder, and like that's kind of how my style of music goes, you know. And I I got diagnosed with multiple sclerosis in 2011, and it kind of like threw off the whole trajectory of my career. And I was on the road doing shows. I was doing the whole deal, and it just knocked me out. And I ended up writing a book about it and making it the way for to speak up for disabled people, for mental health, and anything like that. Because I'm on mental health pills, and I'm on pills for my diagnosis for MS. So, and I'm in a wheelchair. So I like to stick up for people that don't have a voice necessarily. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. How did your diagnosis with MS change the trajectory of your life and music career?
Sure. It when I got diagnosed, the first doctor told me, "Here, just take this shot and you'll be fine." And I didn't, and I took him at his word. He didn't even tell me what multiple sclerosis really was. So he gives me this shot, and I noticed that I'm kind of progressively getting a little bit worse, and things are happening to my body. And then my father ends up talking to one of his friends. His name is Charlie Constantino, and in Rochester, New York, they have a wing of the hospital named after this guy, and they have a big MS center in that hospital. So my dad and his friend got me into this MS center, and I'm with some really good doctors now. So they actually have me on a medication that is actually working. It stopped lesions from forming because that's what happens. Lesions form on your nerves, and it eats away at what's called myelin, which is where I got the title of the book from.
You've been in the underground hip hop scene for 25 years. How has the grind shaped your perspective on success?
It is, it's kind of like I'm not looking for like a mainstream success on things. I kind of take the little wins and go along with them and hold them. And you know, I talk about it in the book. It's like money isn't everything. It's about drive. It's about keeping going, and that the underground music scene has just brought me so much love and everything that I can't even really put it into words. It's just amazing.
What was it like going from performing on tour to living with 24-hour care?
It sucks actually. It is I don't know if you've ever been on stage before or anything, but if you've ever been on stage and you performed in front of people, it is one of the greatest feelings in the world. I like to say it's better than sex, it's better than an orgasm. And it is a feeling that is very hard to get again. It's the way people describe taking heroin for the first time or some drug like that for the first time. And it's just amazing. And it took some getting used to that I couldn't, walk right. And I had to start using a cane. Then I progressed to a walker with the tennis balls on it. Then I progressed to a walker with the wheels on it, and then I progressed to a hospital wheelchair, and now I'm in an electric wheelchair. So, and it just kind of it really made me feel bad when it first happened. I was really depressed about everything.
Tell me about 55 Strong and how it ties into your personal journey.
Sure. Well, 55 Strong is the name of my clothing line, and we make designs from like the underground of what I do. We call it the wicked shit. I don't know. I don't know if you've ever heard anything like that, but that is what we call the music that we do. And I have designs up there from like little clown guys to things from the Insane Clown Posse's like journey through music and stuff. And we like to put those into designs. And 55 Strong, I actually took from an Insane Clown Posse lyric. And he says, I roll in a street gang 55 strong. Everybody's singing that Southwest song. And I took the 55 strong meaning of it to mean strength and determination. And I'm like, oh, we're going to call this thing 55 strong. So I started making clothes, calling that 55 strong, calling my record label 55 strong. And now I'm doing everything under the 55 strong umbrella.
Going to your book, as you mentioned, you wrote a book called Mile in My Shoes, which I like the play on words.
Thank
I thought
you.
that it shows like a lot of rappers use like play on words. I really like the title. How
Thank you.
long how long have you been thinking about telling your story?
Mhm. I've been kicking it around for probably about 5 years. I had like notes in my phone randomly and stuff like that. And I just never really got to figure out how to put it all down. And then there's this business guy that I follow. His name is Russell Brunson, and he introduced me to somebody that he showed that used one of his courses. His name is Rob Kosberg, and he has this whole book about using AI to help you with like tasks like helping to make a book, helping to things of that nature. So I started looking into Chat GPT, and I subscribed to it. and I gave it a whole lot of information about my life. I pretty much told this thing my life story, and I'm like, can you help me write a book out of this? Can you it was like a writing partner almost, something crazy like that, like it was able to take certain things that I wrote down and make it make sense, if that makes any sense, so it was really something that I wanted to do for a long time. And yeah, definitely for about like five or more years.
Was it difficult trying writing the book and having to kind of relive everything that you've been through?
Yeah, some of the parts actually were pretty tough. Like when my dad left and stuff like that, it brings up those kind of memories. And it's not necessarily good memories that you really think about when that's part of your life. And they're just parts of the story where I can remember going to school and stuff and crying because my mom would take me and my dad wasn't there, and it just brings up a lot of memories. And like I said, some of them aren't good.
For the book, you had dropped a vinyl soundtrack for it. How did that idea come about, and why does it matter?
Okay. Well, what I did is I decided that I'm going to do a whole soundtrack to the album. And I actually have a soundtrack that's out on all streaming platforms right now. It's just called Mile in My Shoes Soundtrack. And I talk about these songs specifically throughout the book. It's not something that I meant to do, it's just something that kind of happened. So I put together like this compilation album, put it out as a soundtrack. And then what I'm doing is on National Vinyl Record Day, which is August 12th, I'm releasing a vinyl record of the soundtrack. Only 25 copies of it are going to exist, and it's up for pre-order right now. So I think I am the very first author to ever put a soundtrack on vinyl and release it alongside with a book.
The only, in the country field, I remember a few years ago that Dolly Parton had come out with a book with Robert Patterson. Is that his name? I'm gonna be real dumb if that's not his name. But for people that are readers, he's like a mystery writer. He writes mystery novels. He came out with a book called Run Rose Run, and I remember Dolly had come out with an album for it, titled by the same title of the book, and it was kind of songs that were influenced by that. My mom read the book and had said that some of the song titles from the album were in the book. So,
Oh, that's awesome.
I think it's awesome for you to be able to write songs that correlate with a book title and be able to have a soundtrack go with it, because it kind of helps explain more of the backstory and um do that. So a kind of a follow-up question, was writing the songs for the book, I would say, would it have been more easier to write these songs?
They're actually older songs. I end up talking about these songs throughout the book. So some of them date back to like 2003. And I put together all these different songs because I was talking about them in the book. Like I take lyrics from certain songs and put them in the book and things of that nature, and talked about certain songs. And you can kind of see where my headspace was at when I was making them. Like certain songs, I say what I think they're about, because I'm one of those artists where once I make a song and it goes out to the world, it's not mine anymore. It's theirs.
How has what would you say your opinion on the rap culture today?
Ooh, today, I don't know. People are doing their thing, I guess. They repeat themselves a million times and they just make beats that people want to listen to and shake their ass and shit like that. And it's I don't know. You were laughing, so we're kind of on the same page with it. I definitely feel that.
Well, people might, for me, I listen to rap too. Some people might be shocked by that. I know some people when I say that they're like, Really? They're like, and I'm like, yeah, I listen, listen to
Nah,
it, and it's different from when I was, which my mom was very anti-rap when I was young. She was like, no, you're not listening to anything until you're in high school. And I said, okay, which I
nah,
probably secretly listened to it in middle school, but
right,
it's it's different nowadays. It's more. I've noticed more younger artists now, and I didn't really realize this till like a few years ago. But if you look at like the 80s and 90s, you see people that from all genres of music, be all ages. They're from 30s, 40s, 50s, and even like in their 80s and 90s, they were popular at that age. And then nowadays, it's like the only way that you can be known and relevant in the music game is you have to be at least or like 20 or younger. I feel like nowadays people, if they're past 30, they don't have a chance of being in the music industry or be as successful. It's like nowadays it's more younger people. If it's people that are in their 20s and teens especially have a better successful career, and it's like now people from the 2000s and 90s that were like 20 and 30 are having such a hard time trying to be relevant now.
right, right. It's a young man's game, you know. That's kind of how it is. And there's a lot of people from like my generation of rappers. Actually, I don't know if you knew it, but Jelly Roll's a rapper, and he's actually from the same type of music that I come from like the Juggalo underground scene.
Hmm.
And he ended up making a country song, and he's one of the he got huge. And that's awesome. I commend that dude so much because he's a good dude. So, it's good to see that happen to people, but people don't realize he's been doing it for like 20 years. It took that guy 20 something years to get where he is now. And, he's got to take it for everything that it is right now because it's great for him.
It's weird living in social media era too. It's like, recently a song blew up that was from the 60s and 70s on TikTok, and it was like climbing the charts. I think it was I don't know the name of it and I don't know the lyrics. Shows you
Nah.
how much I'm on TikTok. Um, but it was like this woman that had been in the game, I think, for decades, and recently her song blew up.
Wow.
And it was just, I said, see, it's amazing for that. Um, for people that want to read the book, what is the main takeaway that you want readers to learn, especially those who don't live with MS?
I want people to know pretty much that anything's possible if you put your mind to it. And if you are resilient and keep pushing forward, then nothing's going to stop you.
What advice would you give to someone who feels like life completely knocked them off their path?
You have to get back up. You can get knocked down a lot of times, but you get back up more times. Don't don't let the negative stuff impact your life. uh, Try and look at things more positively. I know it sounds cliche, but it is better to look at things positively. I've been having a better life since I've been looking at things a little bit more positively. And I wasn't the most positive person ever, like I still get upset about stuff. So I'm not perfect, so nobody's perfect. You just got to brush yourself off and get back up.
100% agree. I feel like we all have bad days too, and I've had bad
Hmm.
days here and there. For people that want to check you out and learn more about your story and want to check out the books and your music, where can they find you at?
Sure, they can actually find me on my main website at b-cide.com. And you can find my music, you can find links to the book and everything.
And as I always tell my listeners, I'll put all of his information in the description box below so that all of his social media platforms and his website will be there for you to have easy access to it and have an easier way for you to be able to find his stuff and check him out. Um, well, B-Side, I appreciate you so much for joining us today and keep doing what you're doing. I think what you're doing is so inspirational, and I think having your story shared is going to help people so much that might have someone that deals with it, or they might be dealing with it themselves.
Thank you so much, Noah. Thanks for having me on. It's been a good time.
As always, if you would like to keep updates about the podcast as well as follow me on social media, feel free to follow me on Instagram and TikTok, Lethal Venom Podcast, as well as Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube at Noah's Podcast. You can also follow me or follow the podcast wherever you get your podcasts from. I'm available on all the platforms: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Pandora, YouTube. I mean, it's basically everywhere where you get podcasts from. I will include all my links as well as B-Cide's links down below as well. His website, his social media platforms, his book, everything will be down there for easy access. Thank y'all again so much for tuning in today. Y'all have a great rest of your day. Y'all please be safe out there, and I will catch you on the next episode of Lethal Venom.